The seventh seal. You have to crack it with your consciousness. So Van Halen seal is my rocket science father-in-law's dead mother is Elsa, E-L-S-A. So 7 competency evaluations in 2 years. I was testing the employees of the jail. Not one of them, even sergeants, not one of them passed the competency. All of the people there that had already had their trial, nobody could pass it. It's discrimination. Plus, I teach it. This isn't just one time they did this to me. 7. Can you imagine 7 times them saying that you are too incompetent to stand trial? Have you ever heard of slander and defamation of character? You can't just walk around saying that about me. I'm 51 years old. I take care of myself. I'm not on government assistance. I'm proving simulation theory on my own, with my own money. I don't get a penny from the government. But, okay. So I was held a year. I'm clearly competent to stand trial, especially for such such a minor charge, a misdemeanor. Missy Elliott, E.T., Elliott. There was a Sergeant Elliott at the ward. I mean, at the jail. I couldn't find anybody who understood, who knew what IST meant, who knew what NCR meant, conditions of release. But people who already had their trial there's not one of them were competent. So with a year sending me to the ward and to jail twice now, because this is the second time they've done this to me in 2 years. I've spent the last 2 years in jail, innocent. How much taxpayers' dollars did that cost? I don't know how much a day in jail cost, but I was wasteful spending. Why would you even if you think somebody's incompetent, then you get an attorney in fact, I think it's called, or a power of attorney. Let somebody you love make the decisions, or even your own lawyer. Why does a judge get to look? They didn't even really talk to me. They looked at the charge. Oh, she talks about simulation theory. So you're using only the state's evidence against me before I even had a chance to speak, to tell my side of the story. Nobody seems to care that this officer omitted evidence. The whole reason I went outside to speak to them was to tell them that my sky banner made the paper. This was I already knew. I know I'm telling the truth. So I thought, wow, somebody tipped that whoever took that picture off, because it only flew for 10 minutes. So somebody tipped them off. And then somebody else posted, oh, I saw that banner the year before, and posted the picture from my first banner, which was, there was about 100 streets in between where I flew those banners. What are the chances of that? And it was in April. that person was at both of those, that was at the first one. I know I have a Q team. I just don't know where they are. I hope all around me. But where's Donald Trump? If Donald Trump is part of Q, where is Donald Trump? Because I am Donald Trump. So just think, 2 years in jail and the ward, what that cost to target me. And that's just that part, Schoolboy Q. That's just that part. That's not the endless gang stalking. I know double-dipping lawyers. I know my lawyer double-dipped. This man, moronic law, refused to speak to me. He threw me under. He never heard my side of the story. And he did the same thing the judge used the evidence against me. And then I was about ready to go back to the ward for a third time. My lawyer did nothing. And an officer from the Department of Health stood up and went over to the state's attorney and says, she has been opined twice. The whole atmosphere in the jail, in the court, turned from them ridiculing me, that even though I was opined, the evaluator just didn't know what to do with me and's looking for guidance. The tables turned. He said something to her, and then all of a sudden, the judge says, well, yeah, she has been held an awful long time. And the state's attorney, who was just contesting, I had 2. Last year, I had 1 competency. They sent me to the ward. I had 1 more, got out. Because I sent my evidence, my sky banner and stuff, to the state's attorney, they did it to me again. So I went 5 months waiting for the ward, went a week, proved I'm competent to the ward, and went to the judge. I was opined. She says, no, I want her to do it again. This lady just opined me that's being found competent to stand trial. And a judge again ordered another competency. Then she was going to do it again. She was going to do it again. This woman risked her entire livelihood and reputation to try to send me back to the ward again, as if I don't understand the basic mechanics of a trial. I'm like, look, I even know that the area in between in between counsel and the bench is called the well. I'm studying because of what's been done to me. And even if I didn't study criminal law, you have to be severely mentally disabled, or possibly severely mentally ill, to not understand guilty, not guilty. And to be honest, you can go and memorize. I could give you a list of equations that you can memorize. Does that mean you know how to do those equations? No. So really what they're just getting you to do is to go memorize. And then you get there, and like I walked in competent. As soon as I walked in, I had sent them a competency evaluation I did on camera. I was doing these videos from inside jail, teaching competency. The incompetent Professor D's nuts. And I sent my competency to the ward. I was like, man, you're incoming liability. Liability is the responsibility to act or failure to act. I was like, I can't believe that they would even take me again, because I was just let go there. They don't prescribe any medicine to me. Like, even the doctors were gang stalking me. They let, like, they don't let me speak. I am not allowed to talk about simulation theory or QAnon. But I have it in my papers now. I even asked the lady, Dr. Yu, I said, can you honestly say I was never called schizoaffective until I was confirmed Q? Well, schizo, that disorder comes on early in life. And I'm trying to tell you I channel. Well, they have a lady there in admissions that goes on cruises. Cruise is my brother's friend, or his employee, with Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham. She goes on cruises with this person, and I said, well, that's what I do, channel. And no, I'm crazy, delusional, and schizophrenic, but you go on cruises with somebody who, I was watching those videos 15 years ago. I love the vibration that Bashar carries, Daryl Anka. I am Bashar. It's a false light. There's so much truth in all of that disclosure and all of that, but there's also disinformation. So you see what's happening to me, and I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I'm going to take a polygraph. These people who are having cruises and not targeted and are part of a group are funded. So they're giving you half truth, which is very dangerous. So if you're getting thousands of views, I'll call you a liar to your face. If you're talking about ET disclosure and don't know my name, then you're a liar. You're a bald-faced liar. I'll tell you to your face.